Good evening and welcome to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is the Sports Block live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary. I am Ryan Magnuson and we are joined by Ryan Grover and head coach Mike Castellano. The Mustangs are coming off a 14-0 win over Cary. That brings the Mustangs to 8-2 overall with a 6-0 conference record. Coach, as we jump into this game and this recap, I mean, I guess you have to start with the weather. You can't really avoid it, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't the best weather we played in all year. And Coach Ray was talking about the history of the school, and he said that's the worst weather the school's ever played in. But again, you know, we had contacted each other prior. It was Cary's decision on what we wanted to do. And they wanted to move possibly back to Monday and some other things, and I wanted to play on Friday. They moved time up to 6, which obviously didn't work out with the forecast. But
the rain stopping at 7:30, you mean?
Yeah, we took the final knee, and the rain stopped about that time. It wasn't the best call, but either way, we got a chance to play, and we talked to our guys all the time about playing regardless of the weather or temperature or anything else.
All right, so I believe we have some highlights. Let's go ahead and jump into those.
The first highlight here, if you watch our punt team, the guy who's getting blocked on the line of scrimmage could have quit on the play. He did a great job of getting down there and chasing the play. Tom Hartshorn, Tom's does something. I don't know how he does it, but he recovers more fumbles than I've ever seen. He creates the fumble. We recovered. It changes field position for us. The second play you're going to see is a tackle for a loss. Anthony Mitchell is the right defensive end. Does a great job, and Warren Messer steps up with our corner, Yorick Sands, to get a tackle for a loss. If you can see that field, it's actually worse on our sideline than it was on theirs, the way the field drained. The third one here, we don't talk about this a lot, but this is one of our block punts. T. White comes and blocks it off the edge. Again, that was one of multiple punt team or pride team for us, positive things that happened, but that was another punt block. And the next one, this guy's been a rumor a bit about being on our team, and we're finally getting to see him play a little bit. This is Curtis. He has a play where he catches a ball that Brant does a good job of getting them to him with the weather as bad as it is, and Curtis barely makes 6 missed tackles happen and gets it in the end zone for us. And then the last play you're going to see here, Coach Burdeau makes these highlights up, who's our offensive coordinator. So I called him and said, what do we have this week? And usually I'm expecting 4 or 5 touchdown passes and all those things. He said, Coach, it's a punt block, 1 pass, and 3 tackles for losses. So this play here is a tackle for loss that Warren, Brendan Weinberg, and King Kiaku all get in on. And this is a play they run. They've been very successful on all season. And actually we did a really good job of defending it. It was our linebackers' job to do it.
Well, with the conditions as it is, can you just speak on the defense's effort to put a 0 up on the board?
Well, we talk every week about that being the goal. One of the old fathers came back today after practice and said, Coach, I'm worried about Fuquay. And I said, well, we're not playing Fuquay. We're playing another team, and it's our job to reach our goals. And one of our goals in offense is to score a certain amount of points. On defense is to try to get a shutout or as close as possible. And then on special teams is try to score on 2 different special teams plays. So we were excited we were able to get a shutout. We've been close a couple of times, but we finally got it done.
Yeah. Did the rain change the way you guys called the game? Or, I mean, I know it changed the way, the product on the field for sure, but did you approach it in the same way?
Well, I thought Coach Burdeau on offense did a good job of trying to take advantage of what we could do in that weather. Somebody mentioned total yards, and a game like that, it's about getting a W. Defensively, it was the exact same scheme and game plan we went in with because their offense didn't change. Special teams-wise, we've practiced all summer, on a field that floods very easy, so we were used to that. We were kind of surprised that we couldn't throw the ball as well as we wanted to because we do have a wet practice field. But it did change a lot of what we wanted to do on offense.
Well, and then you got several block kits this game. Do you attribute that to any of it to the weather or just your schemes on special teams?
I think our kids played hard, and I don't think they were flustered by the weather. That's one of the things we talk about is making plays, and our guys kept going, and they were excited when they blocked kicks. They were excited when they changed field position, and that says a lot about our kids. And I'll say this: I mean, Cary's got a bunch of good-looking kids. I mean, they've got a kid number 25. He looks like you. Well, he's not fat and he's tall and good looking and athletic, but he reminds me of you. He's a bigger guy.
I said nothing like him.
And
I always want to be on your mind, Coach.
Yes, you are. But no, they have some good players, and I thought our kids did a good job, regardless of the weather, of making sure that they continued to play.
Well, Coach, as someone who's coached on many different levels of football, I'm just going to bring in kind of a current event question. What's your take on this developing story in Miami and the overall theme of bullying in football?
Well, that's a good question. It's a hard question. I'm obviously not involved in that situation, but for a team like us, for example, you look out here and you look at some of our guys that play on the team. There's one of the guys who's a freshman who starts there, two sophomores that are back there, and of course a senior sitting over here. Some other guys in the back. You're one football team. I understand the joking around that might occur, but there's a line to it. I don't understand how a guy can be required to pay that much money, and then you turn around and expect that guy to play hard with you on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But my point of view, personal as it may be, and just mine, I hope that guy never is in the league again. I hope an example is set of him, because no matter how big a guy is, he might be a 6'5", 320-pound lineman. At the end of the day, he's still a person, and he's 25 years old, and he's trying to do the best he can to support his family. And,
right.
Our guys, even now, some of the 8th graders we see that hang around our practice, 8th grade through 12th grade, they're all part of one program. So,
well, thank you for your insight, Coach, and we'll definitely talk to you later on in the show. Guys, once again, you are watching the Sports Block, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. This is the Middle Creek Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
I got you off your game with one fat joke.
The Ruckus Challenge. 24 inches of fresh cheese, sauce, and any toppings you want. You have 1 hour. Just you and the pizza. Think you can do it? Come out to Ruckus every Tuesday and find out. Can you handle it?
It is a ruckus. It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And my favorite's the food, though.
Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style pizza. It's a huge 24-inch pizza with just right amount of cheese and sauce. And
all right, enough about the big pizza. Seriously. I sometimes still get a little bit long-winded, and this is a perfect fit for taking care of that.
It's great pizza.
Welcome back to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is a Sports Block, live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary. And we are now joined by offensive coordinator Steve Burdeau. Coach, thank you for joining us tonight. You joined us earlier this season, so it's nice to kind of have a little second segment now, late, a little on down the season, to kind of get your perspective on how things have changed a little bit. But first, let's start with this game. We kind of we talked to Coach Castellano about the offense a little bit, but I'm assuming that's probably the worst weather you've ever coached in, right?
Without a doubt, that's it was horrible weather to throw the football around. I was very proud of our guys for protecting the football, run game wise. We ran it a whole lot more than usual. We only had one fumble at the game, and we recovered it. So it was a nice job of us protecting the football, but definitely not ideal conditions.
I mean, when you're out there trying to run a fast-paced offense, and there's a screenshot up here, and there's standing water on the field. What changes do you have to make as an offense?
We have to make sure the ball gets dry. We didn't do a great job of that at times on Friday, but we'll learn from that. We'll do a better job in the future. We can change our alignments, make some throws not quite as far, and really we just have to do a better job up front. They know we're going to run it, but we have to run it.
Mm-hmm. So, we know about the personnel changes and the injuries and the things you guys have had to make up for offensively. So, what has this offense done a good job of to this point from the beginning of the season, changing or improving?
Really just battling adversity every week. Something different, whether somebody hurt, somebody's sick, somebody in trouble in school, somebody else stepped up, whether it was freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, somebody stepped up each week. So as a season, we grew together.
Well, as you close out the regular season, and you're starting to get a few guys back, what are you trying to see out of this last game to get yourself ready for the postseason?
We definitely get some guys back. Probably the healthiest we've been to this point on offense this year. So really just trying to get everybody together, used to playing with one another. Curtis coming back, getting used to playing with Brant and some of the other receivers, running combination routes, and then just getting full head of steam going into the playoffs.
And speaking of Curtis, we're going to be talking to him next segment. So could you give us a little preface on him?
Curtis is a great kid. He's worked hard ever since he came to Middle Creek. Pleasure to coach. A leader on the field. He's done a great job in the classroom, and he's earned everything that he's gotten.
Well, thank you for joining us, Coach. Hopefully we can get you on here one more time before the season's over. Once again, guys, you are watching the Middle Creek Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. This is the Sports Block.
The Ruckus Challenge. 24 inches of fresh cheese, sauce, and any toppings you want. You have 1 hour. Just you and the pizza. Think you can do it? Come out to Ruckus every Tuesday and find out. Can you handle it?
It is a ruckus. It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And
My favorite's the food, though. Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style pizza. It's a huge 24-inch pizza with just right amount of cheese and sauce. And
all right, enough about the big pizza. Seriously, I sometimes still get a little bit long-winded, and this is a perfect fit for taking care of that.
It's great pizza.
Welcome back to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is the Sports Block live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary, and we are now joined by senior wide receiver Curtis Burston. Curtis, thank you for joining us tonight, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. If you could just start off by telling everyone a little bit about yourself. We know we've talked about the injury that you had to deal with at the beginning of the season, so maybe if you could talk a little bit about how you've kind of gotten through that and back into playing this year, too.
My name is Curtis Burston, and I actually did have the injury. It was probably the hardest time in my football career because you have to overcome something that you can't do anything about for the time period. So all I did was work out as hard as I can, do the things I'm able to do. The doctor allowed me to. So,
being in that wideout position, how was it playing in that mud on Friday night? And obviously you got to see pay dirt, but what are the differences in playing on a field like that?
it's like 30-pound weights on your feet. So, I mean, it was hard, but we had to adjust, and we practiced in situations like that over the summer. So it just came to you had to do it.
Yeah. So early in the season, when you had that boot on your leg, and we were watching the games, we'd notice you on the sideline, still as if you were still playing. I mean, giving your teammates advice and cheering everyone along. So how important was it to you to stay involved with the team and keep supporting them while you were injured?
I mean, coaches, they press you about being a leader every day, so I just have to be a leader for my team and just support them 100% even though I'm not on the field. And when I get out on the field, it's even better.
Well, this might be actually the first time that we've had a committed college athlete on the show. Can you just talk about what the recruitment process is like and how that was for you?
Recruitment's always frustrating. I made my decision because ECU is a great school, and I love the way they all play their offense and alternate receivers, and I'd probably be able to play as a freshman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you in the purple and gold, man.
Me too.
So before we let you go, what do you think now that you've been on the field a few games? What do you think this team pulse is like? Going into the final game of the season and playing Fuquay.
I mean, everybody's strong. We're all positive. It was nothing down because I wasn't playing. It was just a better addition.
Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck on Friday. Once again, guys, you are watching the Middle Creek Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. This is the Sports Block.
The Ruckus Challenge. 24 inches of fresh cheese, sauce, and any toppings you want. You have 1 hour. Just you and the pizza. Think you can do it? Come out to Ruckus every Tuesday and find out. Can you handle it?
It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And
My favorite's the food, though. Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style pizza. It's a huge 24-inch pizza with just right amount of cheese and sauce. And
all right, enough about the big pizza. Seriously, I sometimes still get a little bit long-winded, and this is a perfect fit for taking care of that.
It's great pizza.
Welcome back to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is a Sports Block Live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary. And we are now joined by the sports editor for the Cary News, J. Mike Blake. J. Mike, thank you for joining us. The first time we have a celebrity on the show tonight.
Right. Past our own celebrity, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Curtis Burston, that's a celebrity, right?
Yeah,
that's not me.
and you, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Good to be here.
J. Mike, I know you back from NC State a little bit, and then
Right.
also when you covered the Railhawks for a couple of years too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could give everyone a little bit of background about your career and how you came to covering high school sports and what you enjoy about it.
Let's see. I've always worked in like student newspaper, whether it was in high school or in college at NC State. My senior year at NC State, I got an internship at WRAL. I started working there in the newsroom part-time after I graduated from college, and then from there became a sports editor of the Cary News a few months after that, and have been there for a little more than 5 years now. So, which is really kind of neat because, it's the Cary News, it's the Southwest Wake News, depending on where you live, depends on which one you get, and it's kind of an extension of the News and Observer because we're owned by the News and Observer.
Right.
Well, from a press perspective, can you just speak on how much you've covered this team and what this team brings to the field every Friday?
Well, I've been very familiar with kind of the Middle Creek program, just the overall athletics program, because all during the year we're covering, all sorts of different sports. It's been very interesting to me to see kind of the football program move from, first of all, it's very unique that they've never missed the playoffs.
Right.
And then you have that kind of history for a very new school. And now, just got another conference championship, and it's to me, Middle Creek is developing that kind of reputation that the conference championship every year is going to have to go through the Mustangs, and that has been interesting to see that kind of solidified in the 5 years I've been here.
So, that's a great answer. As we move towards the end of the season and the playoffs here, what's your perspective on the entire conference and then the playoffs for this area?
Yeah, I believe the playoff picture now, if Middle Creek wins this Friday, there's a very good likelihood they can be the number 1 overall seed in the 4AA East, which I know. And this year with no pods, that's going to actually work out because you actually play the 16 seed instead of playing someone who's a little bit better than that.
Right.
And then let's see, Panther Creek is going to be pretty high. They've already wrapped up the number 2 seed from the conference. Holly Springs already has the number 3. Fuquay is in as a wild card. They're going to finish 4th. And then Athens Drive has to win Friday and keep their fingers crossed that they kind of just get lucky with other losses elsewhere. And then Green Hope, I believe they win, they're in. So it could be as many as 6 teams in. It could be as little as 4. I think the league has been pretty well defined. 1, 2, 3 has been pretty consistent all throughout this year, but very even top to bottom, which is kind of the case every season. There's really even whoever finishes last, gave someone a tough time. Cary this past week against Middle Creek, you're going to look back at the end of the season and say, only 14-point game in a matchup of number 1 and number 7. Apex upset Fuquay earlier this year, so that's kind of the identity that the SWAC has, very balanced.
Well, as you're sitting here with a bunch of Middle Creek faithful, are you daring enough to give a prediction to this team and what they can do?
Man, I'd have to see kind of how the playoffs work, because it could be a situation where second round you're playing Wake Forest, because there's the way football does it. When you split the brackets into these very small subsets of big 4A teams, it becomes like a Wake County tournament, because the Wake County has the largest schools. So I think Middle Creek for this year, getting a little bit healthy now. The defense has been consistent all year long. There seems to be a little bit more balance than in years past in the offense. I mean, I know they're wanting state championship, but I think let's see, the furthest the school has ever been is what, third round? If you get the number 1 seed, you can start aiming, I think, realistically, and say, get past the third round, get over that hump.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, with the sports block here, the sports block at Middle Creek has grown to be a pretty big program now. And first of all, we just wanted to thank you on behalf of the sports block for supporting us over the years with tweets and words of encouragement and advice. It means a lot to the students.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
I know you've graduated for a few years now, but take up a lot of room in the press box. I will say that. There's a lot of people in there on Friday nights, but you guys do a great job. And this is a great program, very unique and specific to this school.
Well, I must say, thank you for, first of all, bringing your time here, and I think that was probably the most quiet the crowd has ever been while a guest has been on the air. So we definitely appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely talk to you again.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, J-Mike.
Thank you for joining us. Once again, guys, you are watching the Middle Creek Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. This is the Sports Block. We'll be right back.
The Ruckus Challenge. 24 inches of fresh cheese, sauce, and any toppings you want. You have 1 hour, just you and the pizza. Think you can do it? Come out to Ruckus every Tuesday and find out. Can you handle it?
It is a ruckus. It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And
My favorite's the food, though. Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style pizza. It's a huge 24-inch pizza with just right amount of cheese and sauce. And
all right, enough about the big pizza. Seriously, I sometimes still get a little bit long-winded, and this is a perfect fit for taking care of that.
It's great pizza.
Welcome back to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is a Sports Block live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary, and we are now joined by head swimming coach Mazaliyah Morris. Coach, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So if you could just start off by telling everyone a little bit about yourself and your coaching philosophy, and then the swimming team this year.
So, like they said, I'm Mazaliyah Morris. I'm a graduate from North Carolina Central University. I've been swimming since I was a little child, swam in my high school swim team, and currently, right now, I'm coaching at the YMCA for Yoda.
Well, can you just kind of go through what a typical swim team practice kind of looks like and what your role is in it?
So we practice every day at Triangle Aquatic Center, and we practice from 3 to 4. We have incorporated this year our dry land practice, where we practice 3 days a week, where the kids will do anything from running and weightlifting, yoga and calisthenics to help improve stamina. And my biggest thing is technique. If kids have proper technique and proper form, that will help them improve their swim abilities down the lane.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of your swimmers here tonight coming on the show after you. Can you talk about them for a little bit?
So I have Caussin Carter. He is also a track star. He's definitely one of the leaders and stepped up. Much improvement over the last few years. And I also have Anna Telkamp, and she is also a leader in the lanes, helping the younger swimmers to improve their strokes and guiding them the way we want it done at Middle Creek.
Well, you've talked about you being a stickler for technique. There's so many different events that can go on in a swim meet. How do you kind of make sure that you're hitting all of those different events within the practice and making sure everybody is having that technique that you're talking about?
I'm up countless hours during swim season, so I don't go to sleep till about 10:30, 12, and back up again at 4:30 in the morning. I go to clinics. I watch clinics online, so I am improving my stroke technique. And with swimming, if you don't know, there are more advances to the game. It gets faster and faster every year. And so once these students go to the Olympics, times break, and we're seeing younger and younger swimmers break their times. So you have to incorporate that into these high school and these year-round activities.
Well, how many times do you yourself get in the water and kind of challenge these young ones to a race?
I have not got in on the high school level, but I do get in the water when I am at the Y about 4 times a week.
Well, before we let you go, can you just kind of give everybody kind of, your expectations for these swimmers and the team overall?
Well, last year was my first year at Middle Creek, and we were respectively at 5 and 6 as far as our record. So this year, I would like to finish out, if not the same, better. I want them to improve, and I always tell them, first is improve your personal time, and then we'll go and improve the points as a team.
Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck on the season. Guys, once again, you're watching the Middle Creek Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. This is the Sports Block.
The Ruckus Challenge. 24 inches of fresh cheese, sauce, and any toppings you want. You have 1 hour. Just you and the pizza. Think you can do it? Come out to Ruckus every Tuesday and find out. Can you handle it?
It is a ruckus. It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And
My favorite's the food, though. Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style.
perfect fit for. It is a ruckus. It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And
My favorite's the food, though. Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style pizza. It's a huge 24-inch pizza with just right amount of cheese and sauce. And
all right, enough about the big pizza. Seriously, I sometimes still get a little bit long-winded, and this is a perfect fit for taking care of that.
It's great pizza.
Welcome back to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is a Sports Block live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary, and we are now joined by senior swimmer Anna Telkamp. Anna, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And we just talked to your swimming coach here, so if you could just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, both as a student and a swimmer, and then kind of jump into the team this year for us.
Okay. Well, my name is Anna Telkamp. I've been swimming on the high school swim team all 4 years. One thing that's really important as like a student athlete is to make sure you keep up on your grades and also be enrolled in like higher classes. So it's like right now I'm enrolled in AP classes and I have to balance that along with the swim team.
How hard is that?
If you manage your time wisely, it's fine.
Well, this is such swimming is such a, high endurance sport and high demanding sport. When did you, feel like this is something that you kind of wanted to do as, the years progressed?
I've been swimming since I was little, and I realized that it's something that I like to do. Just being in the water, it's smooth movements. So as the opportunity came to become a more competitive swimmer, I took that on because it's fun, even though it can be challenging, but you're always growing as a swimmer.
Yeah.
So your coach talked about kind of the players setting personal goals and then looking at the team goals. So do you have any personal goals or improvements this year?
Yeah, for this year, I'm trying to lower my breaststroke time because that's my favorite stroke. So you're always trying to lower your time in whatever stroke you like the best.
And what things are you doing in practice and on your own time to kind of make sure that you're the best well-rounded swimmer you can be?
To be the best well-rounded swimmer that I can be, you always try to push yourself. If she tells you that you need to swim 100 yards, which is 4 laps, then you just you go. Like you try to go as consistently as you can. Just build up your endurance so you can be successful.
Oh, cool. And one last question before we let you go. Do those skull caps are they as uncomfortable as they look?
Yeah, they look tight, yeah.
I don't think anybody's having fun wearing those things.
No, not really. Like if you have long hair, it gets caught in there. It's horrible.
Any expectations for this team as you get ready to go?
I feel this year we're going to be a lot stronger. We've added the dry land practices, so I feel like everyone is going to benefit from those. So I feel that everyone's going to improve this year.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck on your season. Once again, guys, you're watching the Middle Creek Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. This is the Sports Block.
The Ruckus Challenge. 24 inches of fresh cheese, sauce, and any toppings you want. You have 1 hour. Just you and the pizza. Think you can do it? Come out to Ruckus every Tuesday and find out. Can you handle it?
It is a ruckus. It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And
My favorite's the food, though. Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style pizza. It's a huge 24-inch pizza with just right amount of cheese and sauce. And
all right, enough about the big pizza. Seriously, I sometimes still get a little bit long-winded, and this is a perfect fit for taking care of that.
It's great pizza.
Welcome back to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is a Sports Block live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary, and we are now joined by senior swimmer Caussin Carter. Caussin, we have talked to you already this year, actually, during the cross-country season. So we'll go ahead and skip the introduction part since we already know you.
Appreciate it.
But so can you talk about that transition and I mean, did you even really take a break in between the two sports?
In between the two sports, you have about a week maybe, but the transition is pretty hard because for running, you have air all the time, so breathing is a lot easier. But swimming, you have to really work on your lung capacity even more than you do in cross country. So I have to say that's the hardest. Your muscles are fine. It's just getting the breathing down.
Well, then what attributes can you draw from cross country that you can apply to swimming?
Tolerance for pain, by far. Swimming, both running and swimming are very painful. You have to put up with a lot, but the reward is more than worth it.
Well, then what came first? Did the running come first, or did the swimming come first?
For me, the running came first.
Okay, and then swimming's kind of the, keeping the endurance up and see what you can do in the water.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, we've been talking about kind of personal strokes, like what are your best strokes, and then what are you looking to kind of set personal records in those too?
So my two favorite strokes are breaststroke and freestyle, and I'm just hoping to improve. I already see improvement. My starting times are already on level or on point with my best times last year. So,
cool.
Good improvement.
Now during your dry land training, do you get kind of sideways looks from everybody else who obviously may be doing just swimming, but you got this cross country thing down? So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everyone's falling behind. They can't handle this.
Well, I love the confidence. I wish. So what type of goals are you? Obviously, the different strokes, but what goals are you setting for this team and yourself?
Well, I think the girls team's going to do amazing because we've got we've got 8 guys, about 42 girls. So the girls team's going to do great. The guys team, on the other hand, is going to have to really, really buckle down and train hard because we don't have a lot of talent to pull from.
Okay. Is it just because you have those 8 guys, or just they have an abundance of ladies in the water?
No comment.
Well, thank you once again for joining us, and good luck on yet another season.
Thank you.
Once again, guys, you're watching the Middle Creek Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. We'll be right back.
The Ruckus Challenge. 24 inches of fresh cheese, sauce, and any toppings you want. You have 1 hour. Just you and the pizza. Think you can do it? Come out to Ruckus every Tuesday and find out. Can you handle it?
It is a ruckus. It's a good time. We've got live music 4 or 5 nights a week. And
My favorite's the food, though. Our menu is very varied. We have great hamburgers, great pizza, great pasta, great sandwiches, great salads. We're famous for our New York style pizza. It's a huge 24-inch pizza with just right amount of cheese and sauce. And
all right, enough about the big pizza. Seriously, I sometimes still get a little bit long-winded, and this is a perfect fit for taking care of that.
It's great pizza.
Welcome back to the Middle Creek Coaches Show. This is a Sports Block live from Ruckus Pizza in Cary. And I believe...
Wait, we got a tweet. That's not a question. It's from my wife. She asked, was that really Alan from The Hangover that was on after Curtis?
It was, yeah. That was Zach Galifianakis.
Okay.
He's got too much
Thank
hair.
you, Zach.
My wife,
for
I had
joining
to take it. I apologize for that. And before you go on, I want to correct a couple things that J. Mike said. One, we're not very good. Two, we don't talk about the third round of the playoffs. Okay? We worry about the next game. Okay,
Well, he was prompted.
That's why we brought him on there, so we
That's
could.
why we asked somebody from the media, not you.
Yeah,
because you give us coaches speaking
No.
all night.
Mr. Holt's back there watching me while he's speaking, and he grabs me and goes, why are you shaking your head the whole time? And I said, he's looking at it from I show up, here's the score on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I said, there's a lot of different things that play into it. And I said, so it's not quite that easy, but I appreciate him being on here and got to meet his lovely wife who went to Sanderson, and she's really a great person. We can leave Alan behind, but we really liked her, so I appreciate him being on. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so we'll go ahead and jump back into things now. The Mustangs this Friday return home for the final game of the regular season against Fuquay. Fuquay comes into the game at 6-4 overall and 3-3 in the conference. Coach, this is our opportunity to go undefeated in the conference, and that was the goal at the beginning of the season, right?
Well, again, our goal was to try to win each game we had on the schedule. We haven't done that to this point, but there's really 3 different seasons that you play. There's a non-conference season, which we thought we played some pretty good teams. We went 500 through that. We got a little older, a little more mature. Then we entered our conference season, and right now we haven't completed the task at hand, but we're on the way to possibly going undefeated in that stretch. And then you begin your third season, which, obviously is your playoffs. Our goals that we've talked about, and you were asking about conference championship and tiebreakers and those type of things, I actually did not know the bylaws. Our AD came and said, do you want to know the bylaws? And he was asking Coach Burdeau the other day, and we were kind of, no, we're good. Our goal at this point right now, as J. Mike says, we really want to, our goals are to be undefeated in the conference 2 consecutive years. It's never been done in Middle Creek history. If we can do that, we think it says a lot about these seniors, one for being leaders, but these young guys who have stepped right in. Some of these guys, and I hate to scare them now, but they've been playing enough, I don't think they realize, this time last year, they were getting ready to play their last game of the year on our field in the 8th grade. And now they're playing against guys this past week. Bobby, you probably won't see him again, but number 25 here lined up on you. He's been offered by 6 Division I schools. And our freshmen lined up in front of him and played a solid football game. Rashid, who we think is a great player, Rashid's a 5'6" center, played against him. And we're really excited about that. So it says a lot about our team if we can do that back-to-back seasons. And then our next goal, and, we try to tell our kids up front what our goals are, is we want to be the number 1 seed for the eastern part of the state of North Carolina. That's our 2 goals. Be undefeated in conference play, which means you have to win, and be the number 1 seed.
Well, you definitely have a lot to play for this upcoming Friday. Obviously, it's a big rivalry game playing Fuquay, and obviously you're also playing for a chance for that number 1 seed. Have you sensed kind of a more readiness in the team, or you are just approaching this as business as usual?
Well, you're consistent every day. So we try to be business as usual, but the big thing for us is because of our offensive style, our defensive style, and our special teams emphasis, we want to have great tempo. Mm-hmm. If we can do everything fast, and go at a quick pace. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Coach Wood. He coaches at Elkin High School and has won a bunch of state titles. He was asking how much we run after practice. We don't run a whole lot after practice. We want our endurance to be done during football drills in practice. So our guys did a good job today, I thought, of having a good tempo and get from point A to point B and executing at a fast pace.
Yeah, so what are some things to look for both on our side of the ball and at Fuquay going into this Friday?
Well, Fuquay is going to run the option. They run some of the stuff we saw also, versions of it, last week, and they're going to be a solid football team with a lot of good players and some speed on offense. On defense, they've got some good players that can run. They're going to play hard. They're aggressive. So, it's going to be a game that last year we kind of got out ahead a little bit early, but it's going to be a game where, you're going to have to go into it and execute to have a chance to win.
Well, Coach, this time next week we'll be focusing on the playoffs, and it'll be an exciting time, and hopefully we'll be doing some damage in the postseason.
Hey, I just want to win this week and we'll be happy. So I don't know if J. Mike can come back until we have one after the season, so he's not talking about things. But no, we just want to have a chance to win this week, and we appreciate everybody coming. And look, we only have one fat joke tonight, so we had a good night.
Isn't that one right there?
That's two.
Yeah, I'll count that. I got the tally right here.
Well, Coach, once again, thank you for joining us. Guys, you were watching the Middle Creek Coaches Show, broadcasting live from Ruckus Pizza. This was the Sports Block. We'll see you next time.
All right.